Hey guys, it's me again, and welcome back to the second episode of Top 10s. Today, I'll be giving you a top 10 of anime characters with glasses. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get started. No, wait, I forgot something. I'll be right back. Yeah, that's much better. Now, let's get started, shall we? So at number 10, we have Ruri from Nisekoi. And at the surface, Ruri appears to be part of the archetype that's very common among glasses-wearing characters in anime. The kind of cold, analytical people. And Ruri at the surface certainly looks like this, because you know, she does come off as cold and she does come off as manipulative, but she does it kind of to help people. Nisekoi is a slice of life series, and basically what she tries to do, she knows that her girlfriend and the main guy character want a relationship with each other, but they can't tell each other. The girlfriend is very shy about her feelings, and the guy is too, and well, there's some other shit going on there. And what she basically tries to do is she tries to push her girlfriend into just bloody telling him that she likes him. And it's not bad. I mean, that's basically the driving factor behind the slice of life romance series. So yeah, Ruri might not be the most interesting character because she's kind of flat, you know, that's basically all she does in the series. But, well, it's one of the characters I'm really rooting for in that series, and I wish she was able to do what she wanted to do, because goddamn, it's taking a long while. At number 9, we have Benny from Black Lagoon. For those of you who aren't familiar with the series, Black Lagoon is basically an action series about an illegal transport company, and Benny is one of the members of that transport company. And, well, he's kind of the hacker kind of guy, and when the action's really starting happening, he's not in the action, you know, he's always on the background. He's just, you know, kind of a normal guy living in an unorthodox way, and that's just what he wants to do. He just wants to live. If action's going down, he's the first one to run away, and that's really nice. He's also not at all like the stereotypical glasses-wearing character that I just talked about. He's not analytical, and he's not trying to manipulate people. Although, you know, he's still a hacker, so I guess that's also an archetype. But he's just, you know, a normal guy who runs away from danger, who's just trying to live. He's the character you can kind of relate with, and that's, you know, that's what makes him nice for this series. But also just makes him a nice character, because he's just so laid back, and he just wants to live his life, despite all of the crazy things that happen around him because of his line of work. So yeah, that's why he's at number 9, Benny from Black Lagoon. Number 8 is Shera from Log Horizon, which is a kind of Sword Online-ish series in that they get stuck in a video game. It's basically about, you know, coming to terms with living in this world. And its main character, Shera, is once again archetypical glasses-wearing character who is really analytical, tries to manipulate people, and even, you know, in universe he's called the villain with glasses because the things he does don't always seem good. But what really makes this character is he's just really trying to make it better for everybody. Trying to, you know, live happily, even though they're stuck in this world they're not used to living in. But he's just trying to make it better for everybody, even if that makes him look like a bad guy. So yeah, that's why it's at number 8, Shera from Log Horizon. So at number 7, we have Nice from Baccano. And I gotta admit something here, I'm a really big fan of the kind of characters, and not just anime, but in anything really, not just the explosive nuts that, like blowing shit up, because explosions just look really cool, and that's why I kinda like their characters. And Nice is just an example of those characters. Also, she's got an eye patch under her glasses, which makes her look even more badass. I don't really know what else to say about Nice. She likes blowing things up, she has an eye patch, she's got glasses. Yeah, that's everything I have for her. Just Nice is number 7. It's totally personal preference, but well, there she is. So, at number 6 we have 9 from Sankyo no Terror. And I'll be honest, I wanted to put him a bit higher on the list because I love Sankyo no Terror. I think it's an awesome series. But 9 as a character in particular wasn't what made the series that great. What really made the series was the interactions between, 12 and the main girl and the detective that was chasing after all of them. 9 in particular, he was still an interesting character, but he wasn't the main focus of the series. 9 therefore doesn't go that high on this list. But he's still a cool character, he does some awesome shit, which I can't really talk about because of spoilers, but it's just a really cool series. Just watch the fucking series. At number 5 we have Keima from The World God Only Knows. And I already talked a bit about him in my top 10 anime openings video, but Keima is first and foremost a gamer. You know, he plays visual novels, especially dating sims, all damn day. And he's gotten so good at it that online he's kind of known as the God of Conquest. And through some kind of misunderstanding, he kind of gets roped into some events in which he has to use those skills in the real world to make actual girls fall in love with him. And that's usually played for laughs because, you know, it's a comedy series, but it just feels really weird to watch that happen. You know, this guy who's totally turned off by the real world, doesn't care about it, and he has to use his gaming skills to get actual people to fall in love with him. It's really freaking weird. But, you know, he has to play into each girl's different personalities, and he's got all of these plans, and to them it looks like he's really genuine, but we as the viewer know that he's not, that, you know, he has to do this, even though, you know, he himself doesn't want to do it either. But it's interesting to watch him as a character, because even we don't know everything about him, we just see him and we think like, wow, what must it be like for him to go through this? I can see him like as a total asshole, you know, he really doesn't care. Or I can see like maybe there really is something there. And speculating about that, it's kind of interesting. You know, maybe it's more my own speculation that makes this character interesting than the actual character itself. But even so, I think he's a pretty interesting character, if nothing else. And that's why he's at number 5 on the list. So, Keima from The World God Only Knows, at number 5. At number 4 we have Ginoza from Psychopath. Psychopath is a detective series in which, you know, a reasonably young woman called Akane joins the police force and Ginoza is her boss. And he basically leads to an interesting dynamic in the series, in that, you know, Akane just got into the force and she's kind of idealistic and optimistic about stuff and sometimes kind of naive, but he's been on the force for much longer. He's seen some shit and he's kind of not really, maybe not necessarily pessimistic, but realistic about stuff. Ginoza himself might not get that much focus in the series. You know, at points he does. He's kind of like 9 from Sankyo no Terror. That makes his character maybe a little less interesting, but because he creates this interesting dynamic between optimism and pessimism, which is kind of important for the series because it really asks you questions like, is this right, and that sort of stuff. Dynamic between them is really important, and without Ginoza that dynamic wouldn't be there. So I think he's a really important character for the series because he plays an important role, even though his character itself might not be that interesting. He's still really cool and he still deserves this number 4 spot. So yeah, Ginoza from Psychopath at number 4. At number 3 we have a character from a series you're probably all familiar with. It's Ray from Free. And why do I like his character so much? It's basically because, you know, at first you really think that he's the archetypical glasses wearing character. You know, he's really cold and analytical, and Nagisa tries to get him into swimming and he really doesn't want to. But as he gets into the swimming club, you notice that he's a complete fucking dork. A lot of people have probably seen this gif of him trying to swim, and it's just silly. It's just so much fun. You know, he's a character who really tries to take himself seriously, but we as viewers just see him struggling to be serious because, you know, he's kind of comedic relief. Besides that, you know, he's really interesting. He wants to swim, he wants to try his best, and he does so much. So, well, that's why he's at number 3. You know, he's got some interesting aspects to him, but overall, he's just a lot of fun to watch. And that's why he's at number 3. Ray from Free. So at number 2 we have Shizuo, the bartender from Durara. And he might be considered cheating because he doesn't actually wear glasses because he's got bad eyesight. But pretty much most of the time he just wears his trademark sunglasses. So, well, this still counts. But I think Shizuo is a very interesting character because he basically got super strength, but not the good kind, the kind beyond his control. You know, the kind which breaks his own limbs if he goes too far. And he goes too far very often because he's very easily angered. But what makes his character really interesting is that, you know, he's got an interesting backstory of kind of how he got these superpowers and how he learned to deal with them. But right now he is kind of two-sided because on one hand he's very easily angered, especially, you know, with a certain character in the series. But on the other hand, he can also be kind of calm and collected and give good advice to people. Just like all the other characters who live in the city, he just kind of goes around and shows up at random places. And what makes him interesting is, that he's got these awesome powers which most of the other people and things don't really have. And that kind of makes it interesting in this series because he's a huge factor if he's present. If you manage to piss him off, there will be repercussions. But you never know when he's gonna be there. And suddenly he's there and like, oh shit, stuff is gonna go wrong. So Shizuru from Durara at number 2. So at number 1, my favorite anime character with glasses. It's Hyuga from Kuroko no Basket. And obviously I doubted which character from Kuroko no Basket should be on here, because the other main character with glasses on, Midorima, was also a strong contender for this place. Midorima, being part of the generation of miracles, is a objectively stronger player than Hyuga on his own. But that's an important part on his own. And basketball isn't a solo sport, it's a team sport. And especially at the beginning, Midorima is better than the rest of his team and he doesn't really want to play together with them. While Hyuga, he is the captain of Seren. His job is to keep this team together, keep them pumped and make them win the fucking games. And that's exactly what he does. He knows how to keep the team together. Even though, his methods might be, a little aggressive. Just like Shizuru, which I just talked about. He's really easily angered, but he's always angered in the right way. He knows how to keep people going. He knows just, okay, you need to shut up right now. We gotta win this fucking game. And that's so cool about him. He keeps the team together. And even he himself, he's not a bad player. Not at all. He's really good. His way of being a shooting guard is totally different from Midorima's, who can just, toss balls from everywhere on the field, while Hyuga really needs to go one-on-one with people and needs to work around them to the basket. While Midorima is really an interesting character, and to see his growth, from being in Taiko Middle School to being on his own and playing with a totally different team who are gonna blow him, but he still needs to play with them because it's a team sport. That's really interesting. But because Siren is kind of the main focus of the series with Kuroko and Kagami, Hyuga keeps the team together, he's their captain, and he's a really important part. And because of that, I just put him here, at number 1, my favorite character with glasses. Hyuga from Kuroko no Basket is just that damn awesome, he deserves this spot. So yeah, that was it for episode 2 of Top 10. Once again, I really enjoyed making it, and if you wish to put your own ideas for Top 10s, or your own Top 10s down in the comments, please feel free to do so. I'd love to read them. And well, that's it for this month. I hope you liked it as well, and I'll guess you see you next one. Later.